She stood in my driveway again, arms crossed, sunglasses reflecting the morning sun like she owned the whole block. "You've been warned 3 times, Jason. That party last night was out of control," she yelled loud enough for half the neighborhood to hear. I stepped out, still half asleep, holding my coffee mug. "Karen," I said slowly, "I wasn't even home last night." She laughed, that sharp fake laugh that always came before trouble. "Oh please." The wall received multiple complaints. Music, shouting, cars blocking the street. "Don't play dumb." She waved a paper in my face, stamped with the WA seal. "Violation notice. Noise disturbance. $500 fine." I looked at it, trying not to spill my coffee. "That's impossible. I was in Denver last night for work. I have flight receipts and hotel check-in proof." But she wasn't listening. She never did. She pointed to my door camera. "Then explain that. I saw people going in and out of your house on the footage." I froze. Footage? That camera was only accessible through my private app. "Wait, how did you even see my camera feed?" I asked. She blinked, suddenly nervous for a split second before forcing another smirk. "Don't twist it. I have my ways. The WA monitors suspicious activity." That's when I realized something was seriously off. No WA had access to private cameras. "You hacked into my system," I said quietly. Her face twitched. "Watch your tone, Jason. You're already in violation. Next time it won't just be a fine, it'll be eviction." She turned to walk away, but I noticed her glancing at my front window, the same window where I'd hidden a tiny recording device after the last time she trespassed. I felt my jaw tighten. Let her dig her own hole. That night, I reviewed the recording. The video showed her at 11:48 p.m., walking up to my porch with 2 strangers, both wearing fake security jackets, and entering my house with a key that clearly wasn't hers. My living room lights flicked on. They sat, opened beer cans, laughed, and turned up loud music. My blood ran cold. The next morning, she showed up again with that smug grin. "Pay the fine, or I'll have to escalate this," she said. I stared right at her and whispered, "Karen, you should probably call your friends before I do." Her smile faltered for the first time. "What do you mean?" I leaned closer. "Because last night, while you were busy throwing a fake party in my house, my security system was busy recording everything." Her face drained of color. "You're lying," she stammered, clutching her clipboard tighter. I could see the tremble in her hands. "You think anyone's going to believe you over the WA president?" she added, trying to sound confident, but her voice cracked halfway through. I just smiled, keeping calm. "You know what's funny, Karen? The police already do." Her eyes widened. "What?" I nodded toward the street, where a patrol car had just turned the corner and slowed near my driveway. "They wanted to talk to the guy accused of a noise disturbance," I said, sipping my coffee. "So I showed them the footage." She turned to look, and for a moment, I saw fear flicker behind her sunglasses. Officer Ramirez stepped out of the car, walking toward us. "Morning," he said, his tone sharp but polite. "We've got some questions about a report from this property." Karen jumped in before I could speak. "Yes, officer, I'm the WA president, and this man has been violating multiple community rules: noise, vandalism, illegal guests." Ramirez cut her off. "Ma'am, we reviewed the footage Mr. Miller provided. We saw you enter his home last night with 2 individuals. Care to explain that?" Her jaw dropped. "That's ridiculous. I was just checking for a security breach," she blurted out. Ramirez raised an eyebrow. With beer cans and music blasting. For the first time since I'd moved into this neighborhood, Karen had nothing to say. The silence was thick. A few neighbors peeked through their windows. One even came out, phone in hand, clearly recording. I folded my arms. "Karen, you said I'd be evicted. Guess you were right. Just not the one you expected." She took a shaky step back. "This isn't over," she hissed under her breath. "Oh, it's just getting started," I replied. "Because those 2 men with you, they weren't WA members. They've got records." The police recognized one of them from a previous burglary. The officer looked straight at her. "Ma'am, we'll need you to come with us for questioning." Karen's face turned pale as paper. "You can't do this. I run this neighborhood," she screamed. I leaned closer and whispered, just loud enough for her to hear, not anymore. She froze as the officer gently guided her toward the patrol car. Cameras from neighbors' phones caught every second of it. The woman who ruled this street with fake authority was suddenly silent, hands trembling, her power gone in an instant. But something in my gut told me this wasn't over. Karen wasn't the type to give up. And I had a feeling, she still had one last trick waiting. That night, the street felt calmer than it had in months. No WA notes on doors, no fake warnings, no Karen pacing around like a self-declared sheriff. But as I was locking up, a strange sound came from the side of my house, metal scraping against wood. I grabbed a flashlight and stepped out quietly. Near my garage, someone was kneeling in the shadows. When the light hit her face, my heart sank. It was Karen. Her hair was messy, eyes wild. She froze like a thief caught mid-act. "You shouldn't have done that, Jason," she hissed. "You embarrassed me in front of the whole neighborhood." I took a step closer, steady voice but my pulse racing. "You broke into my house. You lied. You called fake fines. What did you expect?" She pointed a shaking finger at me. "You don't understand. This wall isn't what you think. They promised me protection. Promised me they'd clear my debts if I kept certain people in line." Her words made no sense at first, but then I noticed the small black SUV parked across the street, engine running, headlights off. "Who's in that car, Karen?" I asked quietly. She didn't answer. Instead, she turned toward it and yelled, "He's got the footage. Take it." Two men stepped out, dressed in dark hoodies. They started walking fast toward me. I backed up toward the porch, keeping my phone hidden in my pocket. "You're making a big mistake," I warned. One of them laughed. "So did you, man. Should have just paid the fine." But before they could reach the steps, red and blue lights lit up the street again, this time from both ends. Two police cars rolled in, sirens silent but lights flashing. The men froze like deer in headlights. Karen's scream broke the silence. No, this wasn't supposed to happen." Officer Ramirez stepped out again, his face tight. "We traced a GPS signal from your patrol report, Jason. You were right. Those guys are part of a crew tied to property scams. And Karen here," he looked at her with disbelief, "was feeding them information about empty houses." Karen's body shook. "I didn't mean to. They made me do it," she cried. I just looked at her, feeling a strange mix of anger and pity. "You ruined good people's lives for money, Karen. You fined single moms, threatened veterans, scared families, and for what?" She sank to her knees on the cold driveway, tears running down her face as the officers handcuffed her. "Please, don't let them take me," she whispered. But I knew it was too late. Justice had finally caught up. And yet, even as they drove her away, I couldn't shake the feeling that the wall itself, whatever it truly was, still had something darker hiding behind its clean white fences. The next morning, sunlight poured across the cul-de-sac like nothing had happened, but the whole neighborhood knew everything had changed. Karen's house sat dark, her porch light still flickering from where the police had yanked out the security cables. For the first time in years, no one feared her morning patrols or those fake notices taped to doors. People actually smiled as they passed each other. I was sipping coffee on my porch when Officer Ramirez pulled up again. He stepped out, not in a rush this time. "Got a minute?" he asked. "Always," I said, setting my mug down. He glanced around before speaking. "You were right. That wall wasn't real, at least not the one she claimed to run. The documents she used were forged. She'd built a fake system, collecting money from half this neighborhood for almost 3 years. We traced the payments, hundreds of thousands of dollars." I felt my stomach twist. "So all those fines, fake," he said, cutting me off. "But here's the thing, you're the only one with recorded proof. The footage you gave us ties everything together. Without it, she might have walked away again." I nodded slowly, watching a couple of neighbors walk past, giving me grateful smiles. "Guess all those cameras paid off after all." Ramirez smirked. "Guess so. You've got good instincts, Jason. Maybe too good." He started walking back to his car, then stopped. "One more thing. Those two guys in the SUV. They're talking. Turns out they weren't just using this neighborhood. They've been running fake wall rings across 3 states. You probably saved a lot more people than you think. I didn't say anything for a moment. Just looked out at the street that finally felt like home again. Before he left, he turned back once more. Funny how it all started with a noise complaint, huh? I chuckled under my breath. Yeah, she tried to fine me for noise I never made. He nodded. Now she's the one making noise, in a holding cell. When his car pulled away, I sat back on the porch step and let the silence settle. Birds chirped, kids played in the distance, and the neighborhood finally sounded peaceful. I picked up my phone and opened the security app one last time. The final clip showed Karen standing on my porch the night before her arrest, shouting into the dark. I watched for a moment, then deleted it. Some fights are worth remembering, but some victories speak loudest in silence. As I stood and looked across my own land, I whispered to myself, I didn't fight for this home to be told I can't live in it. And for the first time since moving here, it finally felt like mine.